This episode is brought to you by Unstoppable. Discover the inspiring true story about Anthony Robles, who defied every expectation to become a national wrestling champion in Unstoppable, a new original movie from Amazon MGM Studios and director William Goldenberg, evoking the excitement and camaraderie of classic sports dramas and thrilling wrestling matches. Unstoppable features an all-star ensemble cast, including Jarrell Jerome, Jennifer Lopez, Don Cheadle, Michael Pena, and Bobby Cannavale. Unstoppable is streaming exclusively on Prime Video January 16th.
Bored with your boring cardio? Stop pedaling that snooze cycle to Nowheresville and try some cardio that's actually fun. Supernatural Fitness, available on MetaQuest. Isn't that right, Jane Fonda?
Cardio will never be boring again.
Sweat to the beat of thousands of chart-topping songs inside stunning virtual landscapes.
Bet your stationary bike can't do that.
Visit GetSupernatural.com and join the next fitness revolution. Supernatural VR Fitness, only on MetaQuest. Rated Teen for Teen.
WTL.
It's time!
WTL.
I think we got a show. Oh yeah, we got a show.
WTL.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Classen, joined by
JaBron.
Oh, he's back.
Yes, sir.
Oh, the Parlay Pounder.
You got it. We're back.
And just in time for maybe the most fun betting weekend of the year, really.
Awesome.
I mean, you got your Super Bowl, you got the opening weekend or week of March Madness.
Yep.
But it doesn't get much better than this.
Yeah, no, this is pretty dang good.
Kind of historic, too, because we have a pretty good slate of college playoff games to talk about as well. But first things first, we got to get into the NFL wild card round.
Wild card weekend.
We will start with the AFC, and things have panned out in a certain way that has put the Houston Texans as a home dog. We're going to start with the game on CBS at 3:30 kickoff. The Los Angeles Chargers are flying on over to Houston Texans, where they have found themselves a 3-point road favorite. This line opened up at 2.5, so really not too much movement.
Yeah.
It's just that just a trendy, sexy bet, whatever you want to call it, has always been on the home dog. I'm just not seeing that for this one.
Yeah, for sure, Andy. And when it was at 2.5 for the LA Chargers, minus 2.5, I really liked it because I do believe the Chargers will win this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can make a case for the Texans. It's not often you get a home dog in the NFL playoffs, like you were saying. There is a reason the line is where it's at.
Right.
The Texans ended the season with losses in 5 of their last 9 games. The offense has struggled mightily due to injuries. We watched Texans on Christmas score 2 points against the Ravens. Texans have scored 20 or fewer points in 4 of their last 9 games. That's just not good enough against this Chargers team that can score, but also has one of the best scoring defenses in the league. I think this might be kind of a rout, Andy. I think the Chargers are going to come to play. Harbaugh wants to get that first playoff win under his belt, first year back in the league, and really set them up for success in the future. I think they roll these guys. I'm taking the -3. I love it.
Well, to counter that, you could say wild card home dogs are 29-1 against the spread all time. And a lot of folks are saying, oh, those good old Chargers, they're an overachiever. They've overachieved all year, but that's what Harbaugh does. So a little bit to be expected, but he made the playoffs, really turned that around. But I'm with you. Chargers have covered 9 of their last games. Herbert is 12 and 4 ATS his last 16 games. He has covered 12 times himself alone as a road favorite.
Yes.
Now that's
a road favorite. That's going in places and covering and winning. It's absolutely insane what the Chargers have done.
Yeah.
And this,
they're the best. They're the best against the spread this entire season in the NFL. They are 13-4 against the spread all season long,
and especially going on the road.
Yeah. You're seeing it right there.
And this I can't stress this enough, this is just not a good matchup for the Texans, given their injury situation and the way the offense has been struggling, especially under the injuries.
16 points.
I love it.
They've averaged 16 points over the last month.
Yeah.
16 points.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that.
Get out.
Also, I love what you're talking about, the injury, because right now the Chargers are playing their best football. They're also as healthy as they've ever been. J.K. Dobbins is back 100%. Tank Dell is out. I mean, he's been out for a couple weeks now, but that's a huge loss for a team that likes to sling the ball around. So for all those reasons, I think we like the Chargers big, even though it's up to 3. What about this total? Opened up at 44.5. It's been bet down to 42.5. I still might like the under just because the Chargers are the slowest paced team in the NFL.
Yeah, they're gonna run the ball, Andy. They're gonna run the ball and they're gonna score. But this does seem to me, Andy, like 21-10, 21-7 type game for the Chargers. So if I were to bet on this, I think it's the under is the way to go. Probably all the way down to 40. That's probably where I draw the line. And it probably will get down to that.
It probably will be because you're adding a couple things in here. Chargers style of play, what Harbaugh likes to do on the road, and then just how inept Texans have been over the last month, over the last 5-6 games. So everything's leading towards that under. Everything's leading towards Chargers. I'm not going to outthink this one. I got Chargers covering, Chargers winning, and I got the under.
Yeah, for sure. And even if the Chargers get up to 17-7, Harbaugh is not going to put the gas pedal on in the third and fourth quarter to try and score more. He's going to run J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards into the ground until the clock ticks 0. They will win this game 17-14, 17-10. They do not care. They are ready to take on the rest of the AFC. I believe this is a lock for the Chargers.
Me too. Let's get into the 7 o'clock evening game. That is the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Baltimore Ravens.
Division rivals.
This is an AFC wildcard game. This is a divisional game, but it's postseason, so that adds a little layer to it.
It does.
And to the intrigue, I'm seeing 9.5s on the board. Baltimore's a 9.5-point favorite. I saw a lot of 10s earlier today. Opened at 8.5. You just have so much money being poured in on Baltimore, and you didn't see a counter to that. Some people are saying, well, that's really telling, because usually with a fan base like Pittsburgh, they'll get in there like, oh, we're going to lose by less than 10. You didn't see that. A lot of folks are saying,
tough. Especially, you look at the Pittsburgh fan base right now. I follow a lot of people, Barstool and stuff that have a whole bunch of Pittsburgh fans. Heading into the postseason on a 4-game losing streak. That is very tough to see, especially when you're playing a team that you've played twice this year already, and it is the juggernaut of the Baltimore Ravens and the juggernaut of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry.
Maybe one of the best teams in the NFL, the best.
Exactly. And Pittsburgh's defense has had trouble stopping teams during this losing streak, and this is a team that can get explosive really fast. The emergence of Mark Andrews in the back half of the season started the first 5 weeks without a touchdown. Everybody's like, where is this guy? Where is this guy? Ended the year with the most touchdowns of a tight end. It's just insane. With these two pieces, I do believe the Ravens can cover this 10.
Wow.
I would like it at 9. I would like it at 9.5.
9.5s are popping back up here.
If I do bet it, it's going to be at 9.5. I won't take the 10 just because I have respect for Mike Tomlin. I do believe they win this game by 2 scores.
Zay Flowers is back. He's day to day, so he's getting better.
Gonna play.
It looks like it. I'm saying not so fast here. A lot of people are throwing shade at the Steelers. A lot of Steelers fans, they've just had. I'm like, yo, get out. We are Husker fans. Don't even talk to me, man.
Carolina and Chicago fans. It's very
Tomlin
tough.
is 10-2 straight up against the NFC North last couple of seasons. He's also 38-14-2 as a dog within the division. I think Steelers can put. It's still an AFC North divisional game. It's in the playoffs. Like you said, they played them twice. No way. I don't think Steelers can win this game. I think they can get within 2 scores. I really do. Even with Russ scrambling and then, scrambling and diving to the ground for no reason, wasting time short of the first down. It's a gamble, okay? It's a gamble.
It really is. And like you're saying, the Pittsburgh offense has been pretty bad in recent games. And I just don't like their chances of keeping pace with the Baltimore Ravens. Earlier in the season, Pittsburgh needed a heroic effort from their kicker and defense to win against Baltimore. So I just think Baltimore is going to come in guns blazing, put the Bills and Chiefs on notice that we're still here. I think that's what's going on.
I do totally get it.
This could be ugly as well.
Hey, I'm not the smartest guy out there, and I'm dumbing it down. It's a divisional rival, and this is also the biggest spread in the playoffs. And in the NFL, when I see those points, I get leery.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up. Noon on Sunday, AFC Wildcard is going to wrap the AFC anyway. Denver Broncos heading up to Buffalo. This is another one of those big point spreads. Open up at 8. Buffalo is your home favorite at 8 points. And I'm not seeing much blowback. In fact, it's crawling up. I'm seeing some 8.5s out on various books, 9.
Yeah. I don't know. Denver, they've overreached a bit this year, looking better after a confidence-boosting beatdown of the Chiefs. Reserves.
No, I'm throwing
in
that
week
out.
18.
Get out of here.
Yeah, but no, the the Broncos have been close in most of their losses this year. Only one came by more than one touchdown. That was a 41-10 loss to the Ravens on November 3rd. Buffalo is capable of putting the Broncos back down, though. I think the Bills will show their stuff at home. Double-digit victory. If this keeps under 10, Andy, I do believe the Bills will cover.
Denver is a feel-good story, but I think they played the weakest schedule all season long. They're 2-7 against teams over 500, and that includes last week against Kansas City, and you can't even count that. So they're really 1-7 against teams over 500.
Yeah.
On the other side of that, they're 0-8 against the spread against teams that are over 500.
Of course.
They're also 0-8 straight up against teams. So... And Buffalo's not just a good offense; they're a great offense. They're also a really good defense. 10th overall defense-wise. There's really not much here for me to go on.
No, there really isn't, Andy.
It's Buffalo, and I'm not scared of the big point spread on this one.
No, I'm not scared of this. They're going to win by more than 10.
Yeah.
The over is my thing that I think I can bet on and feel good about it, Andy.
It's getting bet down?
It is getting bet down. I'm going to wait till game time to see where it's at, but I really like the over in this game just because I believe Buffalo's going to put up close to 40 points in this game.
You're probably right. It's 46.5 is your consensus total right now.
I would like it to get closer down to 44, 44 and a half, something like that. And I do believe I'm going to bet the over here. And I just think that Buffalo's going to pound them. They're going to pound them into the ground.
Yeah, Josh Allen is 4-1 straight up all time in the wild card. However, he's only 2-3 against the spread.
Yeah.
But it does feel like this is a Bronco team that's a feel-good story, and that story's about to end. And I think they're going to come crashing down to earth as they have 8 times this season against teams with a winning record. And Buffalo's not your average team with just over a 500 record. So give me the Buffalo in a big way.
One little tidbit, Andy, and we're going to talk about Underdog later in the broadcast here, but on the Underdog app, I do have a play for the Denver Broncos that I think will hit, and that is Bo Nix over 5.5 rushing attempts. I believe he is going to be running for his life, so he is going to have over 6 rushing attempts. The line's at 5.5 right now, I believe. Hit the higher on that one. Add that to the parlay that you guys are cooking up this weekend.
Out of necessity, Mr. Nix might have to go over that.
He will.
Hey, you mentioned Underdog. Let's get right to it. Heard the horn. That means we're up against it, but let's take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is Underdog, where you can win while watching NBA hoops. Just pick higher or lower on your favorite player stats, get it right, and you could win up 1,000 times your entry. Download Underdog app now. New customers get up to $1,000 in bonus credits instantly. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL.
Bored with your boring cardio? Stop pedaling that snooze cycle to Nowheresville and try some cardio that's actually fun. Supernatural fitness, available on MetaQuest. Isn't that right, Jane Fonda?
Cardio will never be boring again.
Sweat to the beat of thousands of chart-topping songs inside stunning virtual landscapes.
Bet your stationary bike can't do that.
Visit GetSupernatural.com and join the next fitness revolution. Supernatural VR Fitness, only on MetaQuest. Rated Teen for Teen.
WTL.
Gentlemen, what brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
WTL.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. You know what that stands for. Where's the line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Classen, joined by
JaBron.
Oh, the Parlay Pounder.
You got it. We're back.
Yes, we are, and we are back in a big way on a big weekend here that's going to extend from Thursday all the way to Monday. We got football, more football, college football, pro football.
College football playoff, NFL playoffs. It's an awesome weekend.
The real football, the American football, played with a ball that's made out of pigskin.
Yeah.
Not those octagon panels or whatever you got going on there.
Yep.
We are going to talk about the college football playoff. Up to this point, this has been, I think it's been fantastic.
For sure.
A lot of blowouts and huge betting lines in the opening round. That's to be expected. And a lot of those teams covered. It didn't matter if it was by 12, 13, whatever it was.
No doubt.
Ohio State, 42-17 against Tennessee. Woo! You got a lot of SEC money coming in there and calling everybody, Big Ten guys crazy.
Yeah.
Same with Penn State, SMU. Everyone's like, "Oh, you haven't seen the ponies? They can sling it."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You haven't seen the Boise State. You haven't seen them play yet. Yeah. 31-14 against Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Yeah. So we're going to start with the Capital One Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
And this is interesting. We don't have one of the top 4 teams going into the playoffs seeded, that got that bye.
Yep.
They're all out. We have 5 through 8 here.
Yep, 5 through 8.
So going into the playoffs, Penn State was your 6th slated team.
Yep.
Notre Dame was your 7 seed. And now we have your 7 seed as a slight favorite over Penn State here. A 1.5 is what I'm seeing as a consensus on most books across the nation right now. Your total is set at 44.5.
Yeah.
Last couple of times I've seen Notre Dame, I liked a lot of what I saw.
Yeah.
They are 13-1. Nittany Lions are 13-2. It does feel like these are 2 of the 4 top teams in the nation right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Andy. And like you were saying with Notre Dame, it has been fun to watch them. They kind of have this youthfulness to them and kind of, playing on, borrowed time and just, it just feel like they're the most free playing team right now. The big thing that I'm on, Andy, right now is this under. It's at 45 on most books still. I would go smash that right now, and I'll tell you why. The Notre Dame defense didn't do a whole lot defensively, but benefited from a banged-up Georgia offense last time out. I do think that Penn State will be better and more competitive, but not by much. On the flip side, Penn State's defense negated a really good, solid ground attack led by the leading rusher in all of college football, Ashawn Genty from Boise State, and I don't see Notre Dame being able to move the ball easily on the ground here. I think you have to go with the under here, and I think it's the best bet of the game.
The under.
Yes.
And Notre Dame does have a fantastic defense, and it's led by that Omaha kid who, Xavier Watts, having a heck of a season.
Big game.
Pretty cool that he got player of the game earlier in the playoffs and
the first round. Yep.
First round. So that was pretty cool to see. And Penn State has a pretty darn good defense too. We're talking about throwing a little shade there at Boise State and SMU. Boise State had a bye, and they still couldn't get their offense right to score over 2 touchdowns.
No, they couldn't.
And SMU only scored 10 points against this Penn State defense.
Yeah.
Love that under bet that you're talking about there. Throw home field advantage and all that stuff out the window as this is on a neutral field. Kind of fun how they're also putting the old bowl games into this. But it does feel, I don't know, Notre Dame might have a bigger crowd there.
There's going to be a lot of gold in the stands. There always is going to be.
It's a national brand.
But we're not going to act like it's the last round. There's a lot of Penn State fans out there.
Sure,
and
there
they
will
are
be.
drooling to be national champions again, obviously. So I like Penn State in this. I like Penn State in this spot right now. I believe it's going to be a all Big Ten national championship, alluding to the next game we're talking about. But I do like them. I believe they win late. Kind of get over that hurdle as the non-chokers, as they have that right now. I just believe Notre Dame has kind of pushed their way to this spot in kind of, the Cinderella team and all that kind of stuff. I believe that all ends tonight, and I believe Penn State is going to the national championship.
So you're going to put that 1.5, 2 points in your back pocket and roll it to Nittany Lions. You like them in that spot there. Drew Aller, for everything that people have said over him throughout the year, Isn't he dinged up a little bit?
A little bit.
They're trying to kind of shade or not really speak about his arm injury. I think it's a shoulder injury. But with that all being said, he still passed for over 3,000 yards on the season. Very good about not turning the ball over. So he's going to be up to the task here against this Notre Dame defense. I think you make a really good point here. Oh man, it's really tough for me to get away from Notre Dame.
Yeah,
I think if I had to go this way, I think I want to go Penn State. I just don't know if I can.
Yeah,
I feel like Notre Dame's just riding a little bit higher right now than the Nittany Lions.
Well, I think they are too, Andy, and I think that I don't know. I think that kind of might backfire on them. I think that they're going to go into this game, a little hyped over themselves, and I just believe that Penn State, at the end of the day, I believe has a better offense. Yeah. Like you said. They do. I think it's a better quarterback, way better passing game, Andy. And that rushing game is right there on track with both squads. So I believe Penn State is going to be able to move the ball at the end of the game, getting those passes out, all that kind of stuff. Everybody is saying that Mr. Leonard on Notre Dame is Riley Leonard is the X factor. If he plays good, they can win. I just don't see him leading a drive if they are tied or behind, that they are going to win the game. I put that money on Penn State. Yeah,
when you're debating if your quarterback's an NFL-worthy draft pick or not, that's a tough spot. But I'm going to use your Big Ten bias against you here.
Yeah.
I like Notre Dame's win over Indiana. I'm putting a lot more stock in that than Penn State's win over SMU. I also think the best win out of all of them is Notre Dame over Georgia, 23-10. Then I like Penn State beating them up Boise State.
Yeah.
Boise State had a great running back, right? You should have won the Heisman, all that stuff. No. Georgia had a terrible season, but they still beat the snot out of some really good teams.
With Carson Beck.
Okay. All right. I got you. This one feels like a little bit of a coin flip, doesn't it?
No doubt about it. Coin flip, I go with the better offense, and the under is the bet. The under is the bet. And so we can
agree on that.
We can split on that.
Okay.
Or split on Notre Dame, Penn State, but we're together on the under, so I'm good with that.
All righty. Well, let's move on to let's see here, Ohio State. Texas Longhorns in the Goodyear. I wanted to get the sponsorships right. They pay a lot of money for that, and we got to look out for these guys.
Yeah, got to look out for ESPN and Capital One and Goodyear.
And Goodyear, the little guys, Goodyear. The Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. You got your 8 seed. The Ohio State Buckeyes are once again, the lower seed is the favorite. A 5.5 point favorite over the 5 seed Texas Longhorns. Longhorns 13-2 on the season. Buckeyes 12-2 on the season. That total has been bet down slightly to 53.5. I think I know which way you're going to go on this
Horns
one.
Down.
Horns down.
Horns down. I expect this game is going to be competitive, but Ohio State just feels like a juggernaut right now, Andy, and I don't think anyone can slow them down. That Texas defense couldn't stop anything in the second half. They are going to really struggle here. Will Howard has all kinds of confidence right now. He has all kinds of weapons right now. It's just not one guy like it was for Arizona State. This is a offense full of 4 and 5 stars, the fastest people that this Texas team has played yet so far. Texas is going to have no answer. This will be ugly. Quinn Ewers this is his last game at Texas. He is out. Arches in. He's gonna. Quinn is gonna throw a couple interceptions. What? Ohio State will cover. Ohio State is the national champion. They're gonna win the national championship.
Okay. You are totally jumping on this bandwagon. I think you're seeing an overreaction for Ohio State and how they took care of Oregon.
Yeah.
You're also seeing an overreaction on the other side where Texas struggled with Arizona State. They were in control of that game most of the way, and their kicker let them down. And I can sympathize with the kicker letting you down. you also have a defense in Texas. These are 4 and 5 stars, too, across the board.
Yeah.
And they're not going to play man-to-man. Nobody can do that against Ohio State. And if you do, you get burned.
Yeah.
That is not Texas. They're going to play a bracket coverage. They play base zone over the top. They're going to be ready for Ohio State. I think this feels like a buy Texas low type of spot for me.
Yeah.
And I see that line just keeps creeping up. I bet it's going to get to just about a touchdown.
I bet it's a touchdown by the time it kicks off.
And I hate Texas. I hate Texas as much as the next Husker fan. But if it gets around 6 and a half, give me the horns here. I just think you're having a national overreaction to Ohio State, and give them their flowers. How good they looked against Oregon. But all season long, people were saying, how good is Oregon? How good is Oregon? The other shoe's going to fall. Well, yeah, it took till, the second or third round of the playoffs.
The second round of the playoffs. Their first playoff game.
That's true. Coming off a little bit of a break there.
The only thing with Ohio State, I just believe the body of work is just there, and they beat the crap out of Oregon, 41-21. First round of the playoff, beat the brakes off an SEC team in Tennessee, 42-17. The real only hiccup that I see on the resume is Michigan going in there. It was in their head, 13-10. They have not scored that less of points ever. They beat the brakes off of another playoff team in Indiana the week before, 38-15. Won 31-7 against Northwestern. I believe this team is cruising right now. I believe Texas has it in their head a little bit, especially at that quarterback position, that this is my last game.
Ewers was on fire in the
he was.
overtime.
In Arizona State. He was. I'm just saying it is in his head that he is gone because it is. And maybe that might make him play better, but the pressure is there. Will Howard is free and going right now, playing the best football we've ever seen him play. I believe Ohio State gets us by a touchdown, maybe more. This could get ugly. Horns down.
Horns down. Do you like the over on that?
I do like the over.
Yeah.
Just because I believe both teams can score.
I think the over is a good one as well. I'd put the lean towards the over there.
Yeah.
They do have a common opponent in Michigan.
Yes, they do.
And how did the Longhorns do? 31-12.
One's a rivalry, one's not.
I hear you. I get it.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's okay to disagree.
You
heard the horn. That means we're up against it, but we got to take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Stock and Rod Company, an outdoor lifestyle brand for those seeking adventure. Whether it's hunting, fishing, hiking, they got you covered. Visit stockandrod.com to get your wild game on. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL.
WTL. All right, nice, huh? Got a talk show here, talk show with my mic. I got everything. WTL.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Classen, joined by
JaBron.
Oh, the Parlay Pounder.
You got
it. And we're staying right on the NFL track here because we got the NFC Wildcard to talk about now. And let's start with the 3:30 kickoff. That is the Green Bay Packers traveling to Philadelphia. Boy, the Packers are kind of licking their wounds after the old Bears.
Oh, the Bears too much.
The Bears are too much. I mean,
who owns the Bears?
In
Not
typical
the Packers anymore.
Chicago Bears fashion, I'm a Bears fan.
Yeah.
They tried every which way they could to lose.
Yeah, they really did. They wanted to lose the game.
Like so many times, fine, okay, this is how we'll lose it. Oh, this is how we'll lose it.
Yeah.
No, Packers just couldn't stand it. They're like, please take this
beat
game.
us.
And I also got a kick out of the Bears are trying to do the Lambeau leap afterwards. And they
couldn't even do that.
Getting rejected.
Yeah.
Good on Lambeau Field. But to the here and now, the Philadelphia Eagles are your 4.5-point favorite over Green Bay here. This line opened at 3, 3.5. Your total's getting bet down currently. It's sitting at 44.5 consensus on most books. What are your initial thoughts? I know how I'm feeling about this
My
one.
initial thoughts are, Andy, is hammer that over right now.
Okay.
Assuming Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love are playing, which they are both expected to, I expect this to be a high-scoring game. I don't get why it's getting bet down. The Packers defense is going to have no answer for Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
He is going to have a huge game here. The Eagles' offense is averaging 27 points a game, and they are going to run up the score. The Packers' offense on the other side is ranked 8th best in the NFL, Andy. They are going to run up the score here. This is going to be a race to the finish. I love the over.
The over is your bet here?
Yes.
See, I like Philadelphia covering.
Yeah, I'm not against that.
Yeah.
I don't want. I'm just saying I do believe Philadelphia wins this game. Obviously at home, they are the more experienced team, more experienced playoff team.
Yeah.
I just believe there is going to be a lot of scoring.
That's the way it looks. And Green Bay's offense has been really good.
Yeah.
Sans the Chicago game, which has a lot going on there. I kind of get it. It's a divisional game, but they still should have had that. They still should have won that game.
No doubt.
Philadelphia on the other side, they were just able to put it in cruise control and still beat a divisional foe last week against the Giants. Week before that, when there was still some heat, on their seat, just smashed Dallas.
Smashed them.
41-7. Speaking to how you're, talking about the points being put on here, this also feels like Green Bay is at their end. I mean, this is the end of their story. The receiver's down. He's out.
Watson.
Watson's gone.
Yeah, I think they had a really good season, but I still believe that they can score points against Philadelphia's defense. That's why I do believe in the over here, but I do like Philadelphia to cover, like you were saying, especially as under a touchdown. I believe that
Saquon Barkley's well rested.
Saquon and Jalen Hurts together. It's Eagles all the way.
We did that in preseason. Let's go all the way back to preseason. I thought Saquon Barkley was going to have a tough year. I really did. I was not.
The best year ever, I guess.
Just the best year ever.
They had to sit him out, or else he would have broke every record known to man.
He really looked like a video game there. I mean, he was jumping over guys backwards.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't even do that on Madden. You got to go back to NFL Blitz, back in like 1998 Blitz or something like that, to pull a move like that.
Yeah, no doubt. So he had a great season, Andy, and I believe they get this playoff win here, and they're going to score a lot of points doing it.
All righty, let's move on over to the 7 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah.
The Washington Commanders, formerly known as the Redskins, taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
This is a fun one.
This is a really fun one. This is just going to be a good game all around.
Yeah.
Line opened up at 2.5 on most books. Tampa Bay is your home favorite. I'm seeing a lot of lines now sitting on that key number of 3.
Yeah.
Your total's also getting bet up currently at 50.5.
Yeah.
That might be the safest bet out there right now as far as overs.
Yeah.
It's this one right here.
But it's up over a touchdown everywhere else because they're thinking points are going to be scored in this one. The Commanders gave up 24 points to the Falcons, 33 points to the Eagles, 34 points to the Cowboys.
Still won.
While giving up 23 points per game. The Buccaneers should be able to pass on the Commanders. Expect Baker to have a huge day here.
He will.
And Jalen Daniels is going to have a huge day as well. So this is a really fun game. I do believe the Bucs at home probably get them. They're like we've been saying. They have more playoff experience. This is a huge get for the Commanders. Jalen Daniels' first season ever. It would be a really awesome story for him to pull off this win. And I'm not saying that they can't. I just believe that Baker and that that team that's been in some playoff implications and playoff games, I do believe the Buccaneers win this game probably late.
These two teams are 5-4 in conference play, are the Buccaneers and NFC South, and the Commanders are only 5-3 in their conference, which that's with the Eagles, right? So they had to play them twice. But overall, you could say Washington had a better season at 12-5.
Yeah,
you really could. And you could also say that Daniels had a better season than Baker Mayfield.
Oh, no doubt about that.
However, I still like Baker in this spot at home.
Yeah.
I really like that hook at 2.5.
Yeah.
If it's going to get back down, which it kind of feels like it might.
It probably will because a lot of people are going to flood in.
That's where I'm at.
Daniels,
That's where I'm at.
on game day.
Yeah.
A lot of people that's just going to be a feel-good bet for people to run to the book and put money on Jaden Daniels. And I'm not saying don't put money on Jaden Daniels because I do believe he is going to put up a lot of points, so keep it with his stats because that is going to hit. He is going to have a huge day, but so is Baker. I trust Baker at home. I don't expect a rookie quarterback to win a road playoff game their rookie season.
And congratulations to Mike Evans joining some lofty company with Jerry Rice, 1,000 yards in a row. And it's not like he's just not going to suit up this week.
Oh, no.
I think
he's out for blood.
Big time.
Marshawn Lattimore being on the field on the other side, his foe from NFC South
Good
battles.
point.
So
Good
this
point.
is going to be a real fun one. There's a lot of lines here to look at, but my only line that I'm looking at is Bucks -3.
Bucks -3 and the over, right? And the over.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to lean away, it's the over. I just like the over in the other game because it's so much lower than 50 points.
I get it, but I think everyone here can score me 25.5 points.
No doubt.
I really do. So I feel a little bit better about that over than I like that key number of 3 for the Bucks.
Yeah, they're probably going to win by 3. It's probably going to be 30-27, 31-28, something like that. So I agree with both your statements.
All right, let's wrap it all up with Monday night.
Oh, yeah, let's go. Skol!
A home dog, thanks to Skol. The Minnesota Vikings are heading all the way out to Los Angeles to take on the Rams, where they find themselves a slim 1-point favorite. That total is sitting right there at 47.5. And everyone I talk to, man, they are talking up the Rams. It's like the Vikings never could over the last 18 years get any respect whatsoever, no matter what. They're
a huge season
14-3. They're 14. Yeah, but did you see them against Detroit?
Exactly.
Yeah, I did. Of course, I saw the game. I was there. I
played a very bad game.
It was bad,
especially in the red zone, Andy. And Darnold did not play well under center for Minnesota and missed several wide open receivers.
Yeah, he did.
In the red zone, but he
seeing ghosts, bro. I'm seeing ghosts.
Yeah, but he has been great for most of the season, like you've been alluding to. This is going to be a great matchup to end the wildcard weekend, but I think this Vikings team is the more talented team.
Yeah.
I do believe that.
Younger, too.
And I expect them to bounce back against a much easier opponent than the Detroit Lions.
Give me a break, yeah.
This kind of molded, clash together Rams team, that they still have a lot of good pieces. They do. Yeah. And they rested a lot of people last week.
They did.
But I do believe this Vikings team is hungry for a playoff win, hungry superstars, and Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and even Mr. Sam Darnold wants to make that cheddar next year. He is going to have to win this game, or everybody is going to put it to this is a fluke. This is a fluke.
Right.
You don't deserve to be a starter.
Yep.
Get back in position. J.J. McCarthy's a starter.
Yep.
You're not going to get a contract anywhere. Be our backup.
I agree with it. Hungry dog gets the bone right, and I feel like the Vikings are much more hungry in this spot.
No doubt.
They have more to prove. It just kind of feels like Los Angeles kind of waltzed into this. Didn't really play much. Everyone.
Fantasy West was dog. They were so bad this year. Everybody didn't know what to do if the 49ers were bad.
Yeah.
They did not know what to do.
They only went 5-4 in their division.
Exactly.
Did the Rams.
Yeah, it was just Seattle or the Rams. You had to take one of them, and we took Matthew Stafford because he's, they are better than the Seahawks.
Jefferson can't have much of a worse game than he did last week.
Not even close.
Darnold's not going to have that bad of a game. Like you said, Darnold has a lot on the line here. I mean, he wants to make the Vikings think about, do we got to re-sign this guy?
Yeah.
Do we got to franchise tag this guy? What are we going to, or do we use him as a trading piece? But Darnold had such a fantastic season, over 4,000 yards.
Huge season.
Better season than Stafford.
Yeah.
And he's a little bit younger as well. We were talking a moment ago about the overreaction with Ohio State looking good against Oregon and Texas looking bad, struggling against Arizona State.
Yeah.
I feel like you're getting the same type of thing happening here where it's like, there's a home dog here in the playoffs. I get it. Home dog in the playoffs, and Vikings look so bad. Well, they're not going to look bad again. I
don't think they're going to look bad again.
They've won 14 games.
They've won 14 games, Andy. They got
historic season.
They got huge superstars on one side. I do believe Justin Jefferson has a huge game. I believe Jordan Addison has a huge game. I believe T.J. Hawkinson has a huge game. I believe Sam.
Huge. It's going to be huge.
Sam Darnold is going to have a good day. They are going to win this game. Skull.
Skull Vikings. It's been bet down to 1. So it opened up at 2.5.
Yeah.
And like I said, Minnesota just can't get any respect. Vikings just can't get any respect out there. But they're getting it from here, and maybe that's because we're a little too close to the Vikings.
It could be.
I don't think so. This is a team. I'll go back to it.
I was close to them all year. Watched every single game of theirs. They are a good football team. We don't know that same thing about the Los Angeles Rams. They only show up half of the time.
Yeah, they're 10-7 versus a 14-3.
And against
first time in NFL history,
NFC West division
Yeah.
that was not very good this year.
I got.
Give me the Vikings.
I'm going with the Vikings too. I'm right. Skull Vikings.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, let's take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Nebraska Brewing Company. World class in every glass. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL.
WTL.
Capitalism is the only way, Leslie. It moves our country forward. It's what makes America great, and England okay, and France terrible.
WTL.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Classen, joined by
JaBron.
Oh, the Parlay Pounder.
You got it.
And you're going to have a parlay for us here, right?
For
right
sure.
Here, right now to wrap it all up.
Yeah, a little prop parlay.
You know, we were talking about one of our new partners, Underdog Fantasy. Underdog.
So much fun.
Look, it is. And we're just going to run down each one of these NFL wildcard games.
Yeah.
And go with our favorite picks.
Props. Yeah, props, picks, whatever you want to call it. They have lines out on literally any player, any stat, anything that you can find on here. So it is a lot of fun. You have so many options to bet.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the first game that we're going to talk about, and Justin Herbert, the quarterback for the Los Angeles Chargers, has 22 different things you can go higher or lower on.
But that's it.
That's insane.
The most popular bet, I'm looking at got the app open right now. Popular pick is him going over or under 228 passing yards. Yeah. There's 1.7 thousand picks already put in on that. And you know what? Let's see here. Oh, yeah, it's just right there at his average. He averages 228 yards per game.
Yeah, they know what they're doing here over at Underdog. But, that is obviously the most, everybody wants to, pour money in here and then put it on the, most known players and all that kind of stuff. I somewhat try to sidestep that and go with, players that I think are going to hit these averages. That I have two plays in this game that I really like, Andy, and I'm going to save one for the parlay, but I'm going to give one right now, and that is J.K. Dobbins over 60.5 rushing yards.
Okay.
They got him going a little bit last week. I believe his rushing total is still down to what it should be.
Yeah.
That's only 60.5 yards, and I believe that they're going to be on the offensive side of the ball a lot, and Harbaugh is going to run that clock, a.k.a. run that Dobbins. Dobbins is going to have over 60 yards rushing. I believe that is a good piece to a parlay, a good piece just to bet itself if you can get it on your book. Over 60 yards rushing for J.K. Dobbins.
You're a little bit more exotic than I am. I like that play.
Yeah.
He's 100% healthy. He's off the injury report. You got to like that. I like C.J. Stroud, another popular pick here, over a half of an interception.
Yeah.
He has 12 on the season. I think the Texans are going to be down early. I think they're going to be down throughout the game. I think when it gets that later half of the second half, he's going to have to force the ball.
Slip.
He's going to have to. He's going to be
tip ball. Anything can happen.
He's going to be putting that spot, and
I love that play.
And he's averaging one interception per game anyway.
Yeah.
So there you go. All righty, let's move on to the Ravens Steelers.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of picks poured in on this game, which,
There's too many good scores in this game, Andy, especially on the purple side of the ball.
Yeah.
So, there's a few I like in this. One of them, is going to be in my parlay that I'm going to save.
Okay.
But the one that I really... I really like here, Andy, is a Mark Andrews play over 3.5 receptions. I love this because there's going to be a a whole bunch of play action for Baltimore on that side of the ball, and he's going to. And Lamar Jackson, he doesn't like to push it down as much as other quarterbacks do.
Right.
He's looking for that big target in the middle. Mark Andrews to have 4 catches, I believe, is a very attainable bet, and I think something that more than likely is going to happen. So I have Mark Andrews over 3.5 receptions.
I like Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Over 99.5 yards rushing. Give me the over there. He averages 113 yards per game. The book's out. Everyone knows that they're going to try and run the ball.
They're going to
try and stop him.
Try and stop him.
And if
King
you do,
Henry.
If you do try and stop him, Jackson's going to run 60 yards on you on the other side.
Yeah.
So whatever you try and do, and Pittsburgh knows a lot about Baltimore. This just feels like he's the type of guy where he's going to get his, and he's going to be running a lot here. And this is going to be a game where they're going to need him. I really feel this is going to be a kind of a throwback AFC North type of a game.
You are alluding to it, Andy. He is in my parlay that is coming up at the end of the segment. So Derrick Henry, I believe he's going to have a huge game, and I like that pick.
All righty, how about Bills versus Broncos?
Yeah.
This is a big point spread in favor of the Bills. We already talked about that. We both like the Bills here. But on the player picks, you got one?
I do, and I kind of gave it out earlier. I do believe Bo Nix is going to be on the run in this game, Andy. So I do love the 5.5 rushing attempts for Bo Nix. Might throw a little bit on his rushing total, which is only at 25.5 yards rushing. I believe he probably gets that. And again, I am probably saving a pick in this game, Mr. Josh Allen.
Probably saving one.
For Josh Allen in my parlay at the end of the segment here. But my pick that I'm giving away right now is Bo Nix over 5.5 rushing attempts. He's going to be on his high horse trying to get down the field, and he's going to take off running at least 6 times.
Yeah, if I'm going for the blowout, and I think it is going to be a blowout. Let's go Buffalo. All those things. I can't believe I'm getting Josh Allen at 1.5 higher lower touchdown passes.
Yeah,
it's going to be way over.
I believe so too, Andy.
I mean, he's at least getting 2.
He's getting 2.
He's going to be over 2. That's another one of those popular picks that you could easily put into a parlay if you would like to. But give me, once again, I'm not trying to overthink these. I'm going with the low risk, low reward, kind of your steady Eddie type of picks here.
I
That's
love
all
the Josh Allen play, and I will tell you why at the certain time here at the end of the segment for the parlay, Andy. I'm doing a little bit different Josh Allen pick, but I will tell you why at the end of the segment here.
All right. I got you.
Gotcha.
So let's move on over to the NFC.
Philly.
Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Packers. Once again, so many fun, big names here that you can bet on. We both think that this could be a very high-scoring game. That only inflates the various picks that are being thrown out there on Underdog.
I got 2 words for you. Tush, push. Jalen Hurts over a half touchdown. 1 touchdown, Andy.
Yeah.
A rushing or receiving touchdown, whatever you want, over a half. He has to get 1.
Yeah.
He is going to get in the end zone. Jalen Hurts will get in the touchdown in the end zone. Saquon will get him to the 5-yard line, and they will push Jalen Hurts in there. He will score in this game. Jalen Hurts over half a touchdown.
Yeah. That just seems par for the course there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of a little bit more of an exotic one here that's somehow a popular pick. It's Saquon Barkley over a half rushing, over a half receiving touchdown.
Yeah, the same play that we just talked about for Hurts, but for Saquon.
He's going to get it. He's going to get
I
in the
think
end
they're
zone.
both going to get in.
Yeah.
They're giving a little bit more juice to Hurts because it's expected of Barkley to get in the end zone.
So, I mean, once again, the juice isn't as great, but give me Barkley in the end zone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the Eagles have done all season
long.
All season long. Barkley's done. Okay, so let's see here. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers hosting the Washington Commanders.
Yeah.
Passing yards all over the place, but I'm going with some rushing yard stats here.
Okay.
Daniels over 45.5
Love
yards.
that, Andy. I was just going to say that. I have 2 plays on the Commanders side, Andy, and that is one of them. Jalen Daniels over 45.5 rushing yards.
Yep.
I think he might get close to 100 yards rushing on this day. So if you want to bump those up.
Young guy, hungry guy.
If you want to bump those numbers up, you will get times more if you bump those numbers up. That's the fun thing about Underdog, Andy. The more you bet off that line, up that line, the more you can win.
Yeah.
And the line is set where it's at, but I do believe Jaden Daniels will have 60-plus rushing yards in this game. So just, put the line at where you think. 45.5 rushing yards, though, to throw in a parlay or whatever. I believe that is a lock for Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, it feels that way, and it all kind of adds up. He's going to have a big game to be in it.
Huge game.
I think they're going to be in it.
Yeah.
And we've seen him use his legs throughout the entire season.
No doubt.
So I don't think that's as risky as it sounds for a rushing quarterback. Getting yards like that.
He's going to do everything he can to win. He's going to leave it all out there. And another guy on the team is my second play in this game is Terry McLaurin. He has been looking his way all throughout the end of the season here, getting him the ball and all that kind of stuff. So I do like Terry McLaurin's yards right here at 62 yards. I believe you will go over that. His receptions are really good to me as well at 4.5. So either way you want to go with Scary Terry here, I believe he's going to get there just because I do believe the Buccaneers are going to have a lead and the Commanders are going to come roaring back like they have all year against every single team they play.
All righty, let's wrap it up with that Monday night game then.
Yeah.
The Rams hosting the Vikings. The Vikings are your road favorite.
Yeah.
I like Jefferson, 88.5 yards receiving.
Don't get cute.
Over all day.
88.5 yards
no way.
Receiving for the best receiver, best superstar, best hands in the league. Justin Jefferson will have over 100 yards receiving in this game. 88.5. That's a punt. That's an easy one. Throw that in anything that you want, Andy.
And Darnold does such a good job of looking over the defense, and he might only have double coverage this time.
Throw it up.
Just throw it up.
Yeah, and you can just see with the inflated lines for Sam Darnold, he's at 270.5 for his passing yards line. That they are expecting a huge game from Justin Jefferson, and I believe he gets it.
All righty, Mr. Parlay.
Yeah.
Pounder, we've waited all show for.
Yeah.
We're talking underdog here. We're talking fantasy. We're talking over-unders.
Yeah.
Pick'ems. You got to have a parlay.
Yeah, I do. I really do, Andy, and I think these are three surefire bets that are going to get you into the winner's circle here.
That.
My first leg is in that Chargers game, and it is Ladd McConkey. He is the guy. He is the guy for Justin Herbert. His receptions are at 5.5. 5.5 right now. He's going over that. He's going to have at least 8 to 9 catches in this game.
Okay.
He will be looking Ladd's way. Okay. I love Ladd McConkey over 5.5. My second piece is Derrick Henry over half a touchdown.
Okay.
He is getting in the end zone. He'll probably break one for like 75 yards. He is a machine. He is King Henry. And the last one I'm rounding it out with is Josh Allen to have over 23 fantasy points.
Okay.
I love your play over the 1.5 touchdowns passing, but sometimes he just takes it all himself.
He does.
He really likes to eat this guy. So he gets 6 points for a rushing touchdown, 4 points for a passing TD. This guy is going to go over 23 points, especially if Denver can put up any struggle. This guy is going to go way over this 23 points in fantasy.
He's going to have well over 200 yards passing. He's going to have a couple touchdown scores. And in some leagues, you only get 3 points for a passing. In this fantasy bracket, you get 4. So I think that 23 is very attainable.
I think it's great. I think Josh Allen's going to soar in this game. Derrick Henry for a touchdown, and Ladd McConkey over 5.5 receptions. I believe this is a can't lose thing on Underdog.
Underdog fantasy.
$25 to win 112.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, that'll about do it for us this week. So be sure to follow us on ESPN Tri-City Radio and their Facebook page where we put out short videos and all kind of fun content like that. We're also over on X, WTL_podcast. YouTube. Got a lot of YouTube shorts and feature-length videos out there. And if you haven't already, give us a look-see, a like, a subscribe, all those things. And you're holding down the old TikTok, right?
Yeah, for sure. And now that we're teaming up with Underdog, we'll be putting down Underdog lineups every weekend on TikTok. Make sure you follow us, Twitter, YouTube, all that. We'll get our Underdog picks out there at WTL Sports Betting on TikTok.
For JaBron, the Parlay Pounder, I'm Andy Classen. Thank you for listening. This has been WTL.